Well, hello everybody. It's Dr. Carmen Bryant, and this is Car Chronicles. Happy Sunday to you all. I don't know where you live at. I don't know what time of day it is, but it is cold in the state of Washington. I think it dropped to 16 degrees, but I love the cold weather, but this is disrespectful. But anyway, let's do what we're going to do. You ready? Let's do it. So many of you come from backgrounds of and have history of domestic violence. You have history of coming from family that you experience domestic violence. Your parents may have experienced one or the other or both experienced domestic violence. This is what you're accustomed to. You may have watched parents, that were addicts. You may have, addicts, whether drug, alcohol, but you've witnessed a lot of things in your life. You've been through a lot of things in your life. You have been traumatized in your youth, but this was your foundation. So this became a comfort zone. Now, a comfort zone does not mean that you like it. It doesn't mean that you're happy with it and that you like it, but this is your comfort zone. This is your foundation. This is your view of the world, that this is normal. This is what happens in families. How the young lady say that, if her man does not hit her or call her a name or choke her or anything like that, then she doesn't think that he cares for her. If he's not violent with her, from one time or another, because that's what she thinks that was the norm. That's what she thought. So many of you come from these backgrounds, and so you don't know what normal is. You've never experienced normal. Some of you did not have a mother in the house. Some of you may not have had a father in the house. So you don't even know what it's like to hear a man's voice. You don't know what it's like to hear a woman's voice. You don't know what it is to be loved by a man properly, like your fathers. You don't know what it's like to be loved by a woman properly, by a mother. You may have heard your mother, go off on your father and degrade him or dehumanize him or emasculate him. You may have heard your father, degrade, embarrass, humiliate your mother. So this is what you're accustomed to. That's all that you're accustomed to. So you don't know anything else. So as you grow up, the relationships that you're drawn to are abusive relationships. If the man or the woman doesn't call you a name or disrespect you or treat you disrespectfully or is distant from you like your parents, like the parents were distant from you, then you don't think that's normal. Even though in your conscious mind, you're thinking, I don't like this. I wish this person would change. These are the wishes that you have, but you don't know what it's like to experience a norm. And then you don't even know what norm is, because now you may have met someone that is not hostile, is not mean, may not want to argue with you, and you think that's abusive, or they're nice to you, they open a door for you, they may buy you a gift, they may compliment you, and you're always under this fight, flight, or freeze, like, what do you want? Because that's how you have been groomed. You were groomed, or you have been trauma bonded to believe that if I do something nice for you, something is going to happen because you're going to owe me. Or your mindset is, if someone does something nice for me, they always take it away. It doesn't last forever. Or if someone does something nice for me, it's only going to be momentary, and they want something. There's something that they want in return. Quid pro quo. There's something that they want in return. So it's never a permanent thing. It's not a good thing. It's not going to last forever. But this is like a running theme in the back of your mind. And it's running on automatic. You don't have any control over it because that's what you think is a norm. This is what is normal. If it's anything out of abuse, mistreatment, ignoring, because this is what your parent or parents used to do to you. So if this is not happening, this is not normal, because this is what relationships are supposed to be like. You don't know that those are situationships. And so whatever your comfort zone is, that is what you tend to look for. Some of you like the bad boys. Some of you like the bad girls. Some of you like the ones that get smart with you. You think as being an independent man or an independent woman, they're just very strong-minded. They're very strong, and I like strong. That's not scrumph. That is not strength. That is abuse. And sometimes you're so accustomed to it that you don't know the difference. You don't know what abuse is. You don't know what the fine line between the abuse and a person being a strong person. Even to a point where if a person has personal boundaries, and some of you take upon the nature of the abuser, even if you've been in narcissist relationships, parents, not parents, loved ones, or romantic partners, you're so accustomed to the abuse, you take upon the character of that person. That doesn't make you a narcissist, but you take upon the characteristics of the abuser. You struggle with other people's boundaries. You say that you want to set boundaries, but you struggle with other people's boundaries. If someone tells you no, it feels abusive to you. What do you mean no? What do you mean no? This is what I want. This is what I desire. And they tell you no without an explanation. It's abusive to you. And sometimes when you have come out of that abuse, you are also the perpetrator to get the abuse started. Now, I'm not saying it's your fault, because a person who is the abuser has to take accountability for their actions and what they're doing. They have to be responsible for what they're doing. So it's not your fault that they're doing it. What I'm saying, though, is that sometimes you become the perpetrator of your own abuse. And you guys know about the cycle of abuse, right? It's that honeymoon phase, the tension building, the blow up, and then the honeymoon phase again. And during that blow up phase is, the abuse, you can tell the tension building because, they have not a short attention span, but they have a short fuse, and then they say little things to you, or they call you little names and everything. And then there's a blow up, whether it's a physical fight, a physical abuse, or whether it's a verbal, I call it diarrhea of the mouth, a verbal vomit of horrible, harsh things. And later on, back in the honeymoon phase, they'll tell you, I didn't mean to say that, I just got really angry. Now, you also take upon that and you make excuses for them. But the problem is that you understand the tension building phase. And so you know that during the honeymoon phase, or during that idealization phase with that narcissist, during the idealization phase, or that love bombing phase, or that hoovering phase, or that honeymoon phase, like I said before, that you can get your needs met, meaning you can get groceries for the kids, you can get gas for your car, you can get gifts, you can get what you need, you get your needs met. And so you come out of this situation, even in your own families, you come out of this situation, and that's how you operate. You become very manipulative in order to get your needs met. Now, some of you guys, I know I'm not going to take it. I don't receive that. No, but that's what happens to victims or survivors of abuse. You take upon the characteristics of your abuser, but you also know how to survive in an abusive environment. And so you learn how to manipulate in order to get your needs met, because that's how you got your needs met. During that honeymoon phase, during that love bombing phase, you know that narcissist or that abuser, because not all abusers are narcissists, that's when you got your needs met, because they gave you everything that you ever wanted. And it's sad to say, even like personal hygiene items, food in the refrigerator, clothes for the kids, school supplies. And the thing is that when I said that you know how to perpetrate it, meaning that you know how to, you're in the tension building phase, but you have to hurry up to the blow up so you can get to the makeup. Y'all remember that song, but you have to hurry up with the blow up. So you do things in order to incite that person. And you already know that they're violent, but you do things, you get smart, you know how to agitate them enough to get them to blow up. Because once you can get them to blow up, you go into the honeymoon phase to get what you want. And this is also what a lot of people that come out of these situations do in healthy relationships, and they don't realize they're in a healthy relationship, or with friends, or with their children. They will cause the blow up. They're not happy because, do you know that a supply gets filled too? And sometimes you're not happy until the other person blows up, and then you're back into, it's like your fuel levels go up, because now you're in your comfort zone, because I know what to do. That's why a lot of people that come out of these situations, and they get into a peaceful environment where everything is very peaceful, there's nothing happening, you're finally away from your abuser, you got peace and quiet in the house, but you wonder why you're having panic attacks. You wonder why you're uptight. You wonder why you're always anxious. You walk around the house anxious. I can't be alone. I can't do this. You know why? It's because in that situationship that you were in, whether it's with the parents or with the romantic partner or whoever you were with, that you knew that peace, well, you didn't know, but peace is a torment to a narcissist. Peace is torment to a person that is full of chaos. And anytime there's a peace and you have peace, they're going to interrupt your peace. They have to cause some type of drama. They have to cause it. There's nothing going on, but they're causing some type of drama, something, anything. You leave the toilet seat open, you making noise, you're doing something to interrupt the other person's peace. That's what they do. And so you and your peace and quiet, you have already been trained that something is getting ready to happen. So it's that anticipatory panic, that anticipatory anxiety. You're waiting for something to happen. This cannot be, this is too good to be true. There's no possible way that I would have all this peace, because all my life I had to fight. All my life I ain't never had peace, because that narcissist, that toxic person always interrupted my peace. And some of you guys know exactly what I'm talking about because you're sitting at the house right now in peace and quiet, but panicking and having panic attacks. Don't even know why, because you're triggered, because you knew something else was coming, that anticipatory anxiety.